Chapter 6. Luna finishes the 4-hour drive to the Grand Canyon.
Luna, you of all people should know how to pull yourself out of this hole, but as your friend, I need to be honest with you.
What the fuck does he mean by that?
Of course I know what I'm doing. I'm the only one who knows myself truly.
She says to herself. But does she really? Unbuckling her seatbelt, Luna steps out of the car. Her sandals are filled full of dirt. She made it a point to wear regular monk robe attire for this detour.
Ritualism is important for consistency,
She thinks out loud. The air is hot and dry, but there's a nice breeze to accompany the beams of light traveling countless miles to reach the back of her neck and make her pits sweat. The robes definitely weren't helping with the sweat as well. She couldn't remember the last time she went to her favorite spot to meditate, actually. The photo on the cover of their debut EP and album is of the bench she frequents at a park on Davis Island, which just so happens to be that spot. The fact that she hasn't been able to meditate successfully scares her, but what better way to exercise the ability to do so than in a new place? It's almost sunset. Luna walks until she comes to a cliff's edge. It takes her all of an hour to decide which portion of the edge of the cliff she wants to sit down at. Unfamiliar place. Need to feel at least some sense of security. Her heart is racing. Tut said to be honest with herself. Was she spiraling? Was she really? One thing that was different about her anxiety during this time period in her life was that it always passed. When she was younger, admittedly, her moods came in waves, like a bad tide at the beach. Some amazingly surfable waves at that, but also the ones that throw you off your board, ones that prevent you from even getting on your board. Lots of those types of waves in the last month for sure. She sits. She crosses her legs. She stretches her back and shoulders. She repeats.
My breath it takes, the story it makes. My breath it takes, the story it makes. My breath it takes, the story it makes.
This mantra she came up with when she was 17 is meant to clear her mind. For the first 10 minutes of her meditation, she repeats this mantra. She usually meditates anywhere from around 30 minutes to an hour, but this evening there is to be no time limit. Channeling the Buddha, she wants to have an epiphany. Enlightenment isn't the goal, however, she feels it appropriate to set her earlier intention of sitting and breathing until something makes sense about her emotions as of recent. It's time to be fucking honest. She closes her eyes. Now, meditation isn't meant to solve all the issues someone has, and maybe that's where she's gone wrong thus far in her journey with mindfulness. Her issue with meditation recently is that she's been opening her eyes more than she should, and the end of her meditations seem to always end in a panic attack. Counterintuitive to the whole breath control aspect of meditation. Her panic attacks growing up were not your typical hyperventilation, but rather a freezing of the body in reaction to racing thoughts. As of recent, she's been hyperventilating and pacing. That's why she was here. To meditate. To meditate until she reached some sort of conclusion. That was her purpose for being in this exact spot at this exact moment. She gets to decide that, not anybody else. She was really pissed off that Tut had tried to tell her how to fix her shit, although it was really sweet that he gave her this opportunity. It's not like she needed the money.
Why don't people like me? People do like me. I have friends. You have 2 friends, Luna. That's not a lot. Are they even my friends, or are they more like coworkers? Family? Familiar figures, not the same. This is ridiculous. I have friends. Okay then, name one.
She can't.
People don't like me, but that's okay. Why would anyone have a reason not to like me, though?
She was never particularly antisocial and knew a lot of people in passing from school growing up. No one really kept in touch with her or reached out, though. She can feel herself freezing and ruminating. She wants to open her eyes, and she can feel the muscles in her face begin to lift the lids of her eyes up. She forces them down. What she wanted more than anything right now was to have some more healthy relationships in her life, and maybe a partner. She hadn't had, for lack of a better phrase, a stable romantic relationship since the aforementioned college boyfriend. But she had put such a focus on the success of her relationship with Tony because...
I was never a good partner. I want to be a good partner. Tony probably got the ick. Andrew. I cheated on him.
It's important when meditating to not judge yourself for the thoughts you have, to simply be an observant being, essentially watching the brain as it does its job. Luna is judging herself.
You forgave yourself, Andrew. No, you fucking didn't, you idiot. You still think about this shit every day. Andrew. I'm past that. That isn't me anymore. Oh, yeah? How would you know?
Oh fuck, she needs to stop. She opens her eyes and checks her phone. 8 p.m. on the dot. It's been almost 3 hours since she sat down now. She lays down on the rocky cliff. She lets out a big sigh. She wishes she could talk to her parents, literally either of them, both dead. So she couldn't. She wanted to know more than anything what they would say, what advice they had, what they would have done, and what they would do differently or next. She doesn't like that she's had to figure all this shit out on her own. Sure, her dad left her all the money he had. Her mom carried her for 9 months. This is what she had. In a way, her parents had given her everything. She wanted to know what they would think, though. What would her mom say about Tony? What would her dad say about him? What would they think of Cosine and Tut? Cosine and Tut, those pricks, making her feel like there's something wrong with her. She sits back up. She crosses her legs. She pulls out a cigarette and lights the end of with the Zippo lighter she bought after her 4th date with Tony. There's a calm feeling in the air, as if the world could care less that she was here. A pit in her chest grows. She looks down at the cigarette, at this point about half smoked. She spits, and smashes the end on the ancient shore beneath her. She adjusts her body into an attentive posture. She closes her eyes. 3 deep breaths.
My breath it takes, the story it makes. My breath it takes, the story it makes. My breath it takes, the story it makes. There's a bug flying next to my ear. The air is cold. What's wrong with me? How do I fix my mental state? Andrew. Andrew doesn't care about you anymore, Luna. Give it up. That isn't the point. I still care. So call him. No. There's a bird chirping. Okay, then what's the fucking problem? How are you gonna fix this? I'm not trying to fix anything. Okay, what I'm doing sounds like I'm definitely having some sort of dissociative identity crisis. You're just talking to yourself, dipshit. You do this all the time. Rude. This album we're making sucks. So who else is in your life besides the 2 dopes you make music with? My album sucks. Who would even want to listen to it? No friends to share it with. I could send it to Andrew. I could send it to my old roommate. So who else is in your life besides those 2 dipshits you make music with? Not anyone, really. Tony. Anyone you want to reach out to? Andrew. So do it. I can't do that. Why not? He won't pick up. Why won't he pick up? Why would he? You're being hard on yourself and you need to forgive yourself. I have. You haven't.
As you see, there is much conflict within Luna.
You are the executive producer of this next album, Luna. Pull yourself together. Your bandmates are giving up on you. Your friends are worried about you. You don't have any friends, Andrew. I want to be friends with Andrew. I want to be friends with Tony. Luna, if you sit and think about every person you've ever hurt or wronged, you're going to drive yourself insane. Forgive myself?
She takes a deep breath.
My breath it takes, the story it makes. My breath it takes, the story it makes. My breath it takes, the story it makes. What a stupid mantra.
Judgment. She opens her eyes. It feels like it's been like 5 hours or so. She checks her phone. 9:01 p.m. The atmosphere in the national park is quiet and cold. These types of thoughts are jumbled in her brain and play on repeat in variations for hours and hours. She isn't making any progress. You could say it's pitch black, except it isn't. She can't see into the chasm in front of her, but as she lifts her chin slightly, she's greeted with a lactic painting of light.
Hi.
She whispers to the sky. She takes a moment to lay down again. She stares at the awe-inspiring time machine staring right back at her. The canyon, the animals, the sense of isolation. Remember the dream that Luna has been having? The one where Daft Punk was essentially giving Meet Me Back Here their musical blessing to become the next set of great musicians? This dream persisted in Luna's subconscious nighttime storytelling for months. For the last month, however, particularly after her phone call with Tony, the dream never happened. It had been ripped away from her by emotions that were too powerful to ignore.
I need to lock the fuck in. You need to forgive yourself. I need to forgive myself. Why haven't I been dreaming? It all rests on my shoulders.
And in that moment, she felt like the main character, which was odd and a bit egocentric. She stops and holds her breath. It was making her very uncomfortable to feel this way.
It's not about me.
She thinks.
It's not about me.
And this makes her sad. She wants it to be about her. She wants people to give a shit, and she wants to have some sort of meaning to her being here.
The universe wasn't made for me.
She thinks to herself.
It really isn't about me.
In that moment, the weight of emotions that felt like the universe lifts off her mind's metaphorical shoulders.
Tony's going through his own shit. That wasn't about me. Oh. Why did I feel so possessive? Why was I so concerned about what he felt for me? His problems are his. He wasn't being a douchebag like Coco said. I wonder how he's doing.
She pulls her phone out of her pocket. She clicks on Tony's contact and calls him. No answer.
I pushed him away. He needed me to be there for him, and I pushed him away. He didn't deserve how I spoke to him.
She closes her eyes. She then lets out the biggest scream she ever has. She wails with tears pouring out of her eyes like the river that carved this canyon so grand.
It's not about me.
She readjusts her posture and begins to meditate again, but is fighting back tears as her face contorts into a whining expression. Well, for right now it is.
Who the fuck just said that?
It's me, your narrator.
Narrator? Oh shit, did I just reach enlightenment?
I knew you were going to say that, and no you didn't. You just reached a layer of self-awareness previously unachievable.
So, you're like the narrator of the universe?
No, Luna, this is the narrator of your universe. The one you create in your mind. The only one who can and will ever hear me is you.
Well, great. Now I'm stuck like this and I hear a voice in my head that isn't my own. I really am crashing out, I guess.
Calm down, Luna. You actually have tapped into something that isn't explainable. But let me shed some light on the situation.
Do I need to check myself into some sort of mental hospital?
No.
Well, that's a yes.
She stands up and starts walking back to her car.
Okay, stop doing that.
I'm not going anywhere until you sit down and listen to this.
Going anywhere?
We all have a narrator, Luna. I promise if you hear me out, it will become a little easier to live with, and might help you gain a little clarity on the situation. Luna sits back down and begins to fold her legs. Are you ready?
Do I even have a choice?
Well, no. This is the narrator, after all.
You're a dick.
Here sits Luna. On the cusp of turning 25, she sits in an unfamiliar place far from home, reflecting on her current situation. Rather than spending this special time somewhere where she is welcome and loved, she beckons at the universe to acknowledge her, to throw her a bone, like a pet that's done something awe-inspiring or good enough to be acknowledged. When in reality, all she has done recently is act entitled and try to have more control over situations and people she has no more control over than she does over the sun rising and setting.
Entitled?
See how your inner dialogue is very judgmental about your own actions? You ever stop to think that maybe how you talk about yourself and view yourself in situations has an impact on how you treat and view people in situations where you find yourself disappointed?
Well, yeah, I already know I haven't been the best friend or partner.
But you aren't getting it yet. Keep listening.
Fine.
She wants so badly for things to go her way, while she preaches about releasing control and says she practices mindfulness. When push comes to shove, she cracks beneath the pressure. This is why she finds herself disappointed. This is why she's been acting the way she has been. And now that she realizes this, she has to sit with her reality and actions. It's up to her to move forward and act different if she wants a different outcome. But she also needs to acknowledge that it's not always going to go how she wants. She won't get what she wants all the time, especially from the relationships she indulges in. People will disappoint, but so will she. People will surprise, but so can she. And so she will.
Oh.
Does that make any sense?
I think so?
You know, I'm part of you, so I know when you aren't connecting the dots.
But what am I supposed to do? I've treated my friends like shit. I haven't shown up for them how I should, and we're working on a project together. I'm a bad member of the team. I treated the guy I have feelings for like shit, even though I didn't mean to. I just wanted to tell him how I was feeling. I'm not good at this stuff. I always seem to act like a complete idiot.
You're judging yourself.
Well, yeah. I've been so much of a hypocrite and bad friend.
So what are you going to do?
I'm asking you. I obviously don't know.
You already know why you are here in this exact moment. You set that purpose and intention. This conversation with a narrator isn't going to fix everything, but let me show you something. In that moment, a weight of about 10 pounds pounces in her lap. She looks down. A rabbit with red fur sits in her lap.
Blink?
It is indeed their pet rabbit, Blank.
What the hell?
She picks him up and nuzzles her face against his nose, cold and wet. The rabbit has hopped all the way from Tampa to be there.
Oh my god, hi little guy. You must be so tired. I have everything I need.
She thinks to herself. And it's true. She does. She has Cosine. She has Tut. She has Blink. She has people who care about her. She has the opportunity to meet more people and forge new relationships with respect and healthy dynamics in mind. She has the opportunity to say she's sorry and to do better for her health and for others. She has the opportunity to meet someone someday. And the people she has met have been there to teach her about herself and have been there to support her even if she hasn't always been the most receptive or kind. She has the opportunity to forgive herself for her past transgressions and shortcomings. The stars glisten above the woman and the rabbit. They sit together as the time passes. She talks to the rabbit who just sits and listens to her, unable to speak. She talks about everything that's been happening with her and within her. In a way, she used to be just like that. She used to be such a good listener. It's ironic because her favorite thing to do is to listen to music. The artists who do their best to communicate what it is they're going through with both words and musical notation, arrangement, timing, metaphor, honesty, vulnerability.
Talking isn't necessarily communicating.
She laughs. Cosine always says that. She looks down at the rabbit. He blinks at her. She looks down at her phone. It's 12:03 a.m., December 30th, 2024. She is 25 years old. Her narrator's voice is more of a quiet hum in the back of her mind.
The album.
She thinks.